Yes, my lord, and we're live, me lord. Or no, me lord means you are not highborn. My lord, you're highborn. That's a little trick. And you know that part for people that only watch the show, that's a show only moment with Lannister, Tywin Lannister, and Arya.
Arya.
Yeah, that didn't happen in the book, but I thought for one moment in time, those guys actually had a great non-book item.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good idea.
Exactly. And if you feel like you just jumped into a middle of a stream, you didn't. We just started off talking. So welcome everybody. It's Monday night at 7:15-ish, and it is our Winds of Winter prediction series. My name is Scott. I am your host, and this is Sporky News Podcast. And oh my God, she made it on time. We just started. We have our good friends, and I will introduce the person who just popped in. Christy, we just started. You're all perfect timing. 1 minute and 4 seconds in. How are you doing, Christy?
Can you hear me okay?
Are you in your car? Does anybody else hear her?
I heard her for a minute.
Yeah, me too. All right, we're there with you, Christy, though. Dead air, not
Okay.
good for radio. Jayne. Jayne Theory, let them know where you're at and where they can find you.
Hey guys, you can check me out here on YouTube at Jayne Theory, where I have movie and television reviews. You can also catch me on TR4 on Tuesday afternoons at 5:30 Central.
Thank you. And we're going to go back to Christy. Can you hear us?
She's mute now.
All right. So you're muted right now, though. Can I unmute you? All right. I can't unmute guest. All right. So it's saying you're muted, Christy.
You've done that yourself.
Let's see. Mute. You are. Damn it. I know. All right. So, Stig, welcome to the party. Stig Kenobi, please introduce yourself.
Just a fellow from Norway who likes fantasy books and movies and stuff like that. And I pop up on YouTube now and again to talk about stuff.
And you do very well at it, my friend. So we're going to do tonight. Our show is mostly going to be about Dorne and Aegon the Sixth, or fAegon, depending on what you believe, or just some gutter rat child they found in Fleabon. We might jump into some Varys. We might go to Essos. We might have to go to other realms. So it's a flowing way we do this. We don't have an outline really. We just go for it. I want to say though, Dorne is the one subject, and Stig and I have been talking about that we both, I feel the weakest on Dorne, because it was one of those things where I read it and then the show came out and it made me hate Dorne, even though Dorne is really good in the books, and I haven't read those parts again. How about you guys?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been such a long time. I don't remember much of the Dorne plot near the end, but I agree with you that the TV show made it feel like it was so much worse than it probably was.
Oh, it's so much worse. Dorne is interesting, right? I mean, Stig, what do you remember about Dorne on a quick one-liner, if you have it?
A lot of plotting, but I have to admit I've only read book 4 and 5 once, and that was when they came out, and that's quite a while ago now. So my memory is rusty, but I'm going to rely on Jayne today.
That's what I said to you too. I'm with you on that. Let's rely on Jayne, because when it comes to fAegon or Aegon, whichever you want, I feel like it's one of those, things where it's like, it's okay if you say it either way. I don't want anybody to attack me on that one, but I know more about Aegon, and that is I think that's one of the more key stories in the upcoming book, where a lot of people think it's a red herring.
Oh no.
I think it's huge. What do you think, Jayne?
I think it's central to this entire story.
Right.
Absolutely. I don't think this is a throwaway plot or anything like that. I think it's going to make a major impact on the endgame here.
Well, he has his own chapters, doesn't he?
Aegon, no, not yet. He has people with him.
Wasn't that Griff?
that Griff is John Connington. Young Griff is Aegon. So it's through John Connington's eyes, I believe. And then you have also the Tyrion chapters that when they're on the Shy Maid together, and then the Ariana sample chapters kind of tell you where he might be at, but we still don't know really. We know he landed though. The way they make it sound is he has won some battles, but we don't truly know. And I am trying to see the Griffin Reborn is a chapter. The dragon. See, what I love about is A Dance with Dragons. A lot of them lose their names. Some get it back by the end of the book. Some do not. Some start with their names and then lose it. Like you have, the Kingbreaker, the Dragon Tamer, Quentin, I believe that's his chapter. Even his chapters are pretty neat. What do you guys think? Like the titles?
I'm wondering why it did it all of a sudden. I thought it felt out of place, but maybe there's a reason behind it.
Oh, see, I always took it as. Oh, go ahead, Jane. Do you have something?
No, I was just going to say I think that it was purposeful, and maybe part of the hint that there's something there pertaining to this family, that it's maybe not as nearly wiped out as we've been led to believe.
Okay, I like that. See, I think what he did with the play on words is so like with Theon, he doesn't start as Theon in Dance with Dragons. He goes, I think he's in Dance with Dragons. I always get the two books mixed up, but he is not Theon at first. He's Reek, and then he's the Kingbreaker, and he's a couple different things. I'm really lost at the moment trying to remember stuff, but by the end of the book, he's Theon again. He is the title chapter. So I almost feel like when people seem to find themselves within the book, they get their name back. It's like he starts them off at different names, and then they get their name back once they actually do what they need to do to become themselves again. Because a lot of people have lost themselves.
Aegon though, fake Aegon.
Mm-hmm.
That's another example of the TV show screwing up big time.
Oh God!
Because they made Jon Snow Aegon in it, which means Rhaegar had two sons named Aegon.
Can we talk about that? What really?
I think what they tried to do was merge the two stories.
Yeah, that's probably what they did.
But it also,
of course they did.
There she is.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
I've been talking for like the last 10 minutes, and I'm just like, they cannot hear me.
Such powerful stuff you've been saying.
Kiss my grace, Scott.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, y'all, it's Christy Baskins. No, I'm Christy. My channel is According to Christy, and I love Monday nights now, especially just talking about the winds of winter and stuff like that. And with Stig, when he's like, hey, you got time to talk about this theory at like 3:00 in the morning? And I'm just like, yes. So I did.
Oh,
because
we talked about that was 3:00 in the morning. Yeah,
it was 3:00 in the morning, my time. But that's okay. But he brings up a good point. They tried to do the whole fake Aegon thing in season 8. I mean, yeah.
But that also suggests to me that Varys, even though we haven't gotten to this on live yet, Varys was so serious in the show. So I'm thinking he was just that serious in the book as well. That who he's supporting is the real heir.
Why didn't he? Oh, no, go ahead, Kristen, please.
I was just going to say in the show, because the show, Varys in the show, he's Connolly Hill playing Varys, or Varys, however you want to say it, was great. but you don't get the depth of his character because he and Illyrio are supporting young Griff,
Right.
and it kind of takes away from the show. I get what you're. Sorry if that's my cat.
No worries, no worries. My kid's singing the wheels on the bus upstairs. If you can hear it, so go ahead.
But not to cut away or anything. And I'm sorry if I sound weird. I'm on my cell phone, so that's
fine.
the only way I could do it. My computer's being acting up. It's just that with to me, it's just too little, too late. I think when they were just trying to do it in the show, and I hope in the books that they explain it a little bit better. Obviously, we'll get to see more of Tyrion. I know we're not. This is kind of cutting away a little bit, but this is where we'll also see Tyrion interact more potentially with young Griff, John Cunnington. Yeah. Somebody else talk. I'm trying to think.
Connington, yeah.
Connington.
No, it's all right. Connington,
yeah. I'm just trying to think with everything because it's been a minute. Like Stig said, it's been a minute since I've actually thought about like the young Griff and even the Dorne storyline. So, yeah.
Right. Well, and now that I think about it, the major part of that storyline. Now you do have Quentin out and Dance with Dragons out with Daenerys, but the Ariana part, that's in a Feast for Crows. I don't even know what the chat's saying right now. I apologize. I haven't even gotten to you guys yet because I've been looking it up. I could not remember where Ariana last left off. And it really was, I believe either she might be at the very beginning of Dance, but she definitely is in the tower in A Feast for Crows. And that was after she was imprisoned for what happened with Marcella, correct?
Yeah, and the book she's forced to read. That's a hint too.
Mm-hmm.
Topics.
Yes, we need to get that list because that is a valid point there, man. The books that Dorne makes sure she has, and only make sure she has a few.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott?
Mhm.
Is it, can y'all not hear Scott?
No, I can't hear him.
I can't.
One of these days, maybe I can do this full time so I can actually like have that stuff ready. But for right now, we kind of go by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Are you laughing at me?
We couldn't hear you. I thought it was me.
we haven't heard you for 2 minutes.
Oh, am I bad right now?
Oh yeah.
It's my damn freaking computer. I'm sorry. I got to stop this. Boop. You just jump in, people, and let me know I suck right now.
Well, we did.
I mean, we did. Yeah.
I'm so confused. Let's just say hi to some people. We got Sonny Frank. How you doing? Good to see you. Please say I'm still sounding all right. Author Stephen Walton. All right. Hail to the chat. Another monster. One of our good ones. Oh no, Scott's gonna get mad because of Stephen Walton. This is my chat. I can block him if I want. How do you pronounce that? You're Panda.
You skipped Teresa as well.
Oh, where was Teresa? I didn't see her. We'll go back.
Orville,
because we are going to read some of these. Some of these look pretty good.
Teresa better not be listening.
Oh, Miss Teresa Muse. My bad.
She hasn't read this far into the books.
No. Oh, yeah, that's true. She told me she was at like chapter 30. And my first comment was from Bear Nerd Fun. Thank you, sir. Check out his channel. We have Orville Nation. PJ's in the house. Let's see. I kind of want to see what that question was. So we're going to go back there for a second. If I'm missing anybody, please somebody let me know. Something about the sample chapter. Here we go. In the sample chapter, we know he's already taken Griffin's Roost, which is the seat of House Connington, and that he's about to begin besiege Storm's End. That's not true. In the sample chapters, one of them says his flags are flying over Storm's End. There's some miscommunication of exactly what he has done. We hear some people said, he's gone through the lands. It's been very peaceful. Other people said it's been kind of forceful. So there's a lot of misinformation going around when it comes to Aegon's landing. I don't know if any of you guys read the sample chapters, but I've noticed that.
I was supposed to, but then I watched Jaws 4.
I haven't read them, but I would think that would be intentional.
Right. I thought so too. You want that miscommunication going on without, so when it's getting to King's Landing, they have no clue where they are. I believe the Griffin's Roost part is correct. But the Storm's End, there's one part in, I want to say, the sample chapter, that Ariana hears that the banners have been raised over Storm's End, but we don't know how they took it. That's the big deal. Was it a siege? Was it a trickery? Was it they just gave up? This
will piss Stannis off if he survives Winterfell.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a definite.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm missing anybody else, I apologize. Thank you, Sonny Frank. I do sound great. The best part of this stream was when Scott went silent. God, that hobbit looking son of a bitch needs to shut up. Thank you, another monster. Thank you, my friend.
What a horrible thing to say. He's not a hobbit.
Right. He's terrible.
He's clearly a dwarf.
He's terrible. He is. Okay, maybe he's a dwarf. I think he's very stocky. Tommy, what's up, my friend?
Hi, Tommy.
One of the hardest working mods next to Christy in the game. Tommy is in everyone's chats.
And he has a very good channel.
Awesome
channel.
Tommy, I did put this in there too. Yeah, please support Tommy. Tommy, drop your link in there. I did open a PayPal account. If like many of us new people, we need better equipment, as you guys can tell with my stuff. Maybe I could buy a better Wi-Fi. I don't know. But if you feel like donating, donate. If not, that's fine too. I feel weird even asking, but I thought, what the hell, give it a chance. So let's get back to it. We have a reading from this bastard over here, and it's going to start with, it is the epilogue to Dance with Dragons. It's one of the ones people read a lot in shows like this when we talk about Aegon, but Kevin Lannister just came into Master Pycelle's room. He gets hit with a wind. He's like, oh, what is that pain? He looks over. He's been shot in the ribs with a bolt from a crossbow. Maester Pycelle's, God, I can't say his name, is bloody and dead over in the corner. And it's Varys. And this is where we're going to jump in. And I'm going to try to share this again. Hopefully, I don't have to talk.
I have it.
All right, go ahead, buddy.
It's in my DMs from you. Okay, I'll start reading it. I thought the crossbow fitting. You shared so much with Lord Tywin. Why not that? Your niece will think the Tyrells had you murder, mayhaps with the connivance of the imp. The Tyrells will suspect her. Someone somewhere will find a way to blame the Dornishmen. Doubt, division, and mistrust will eat at the very ground beneath your boy king, whilst Aegon raises his banner above Storm's End, and the lords of the realm gather around him. Aegon. For a moment he did not understand. Then he remembered. A babe swaddled in a crimson cloak, the cloth stained with his blood and brains. Pretty gritty, isn't it?
Oh, great.
Dead. He's dead. No, the eunuch's voice seemed deeper. He is here. Aegon has been shaped for rule since before he could walk. He's been trained in arms as befits a knight to be. But that was not the end of his education. He reads and writes. He speaks several tongues. He has studied history and law and poetry. A septa has instructed him in the mysteries of the faith since he was old enough to understand them. He has lived with fisher folk, worked with his hands, swum in the rivers, and mended nets, and learned to wash his own clothes at need. He can fish and cook and bind up a wound. He knows what it's like to be hungry, to be hunted, to be afraid. Tommen has been taught that kingship is his right. Aegon knows that kingship is his duty, that a king must put his people first and live and rule for them.
Mm,
Also, I picked up on something.
what's
Uh,
that?
the eunuch's voice went deeper.
Yes.
Not really a eunuch thing.
Not at all. It sounds like
Mm-hmm.
his testes has dropped. Now, backstage we talked about this. I think a lot of people think Varys is either a black fire, black fire, or he is a lost Targaryen. Now let's say he is a black fire. The male line has been said to be extinguished to the Blackfires. Now, if you don't know the story, the Aegon the Fourth, the Unworthy, was a gluttonous pig of a man, and he had a lot of bastards. Now, these were high bastards. These were
bastards.
bastards. Sorry, exactly. They were high bastards, and on his deathbed, he legitimized his bastards and took away the stain. And when Daemon Daemon, who he didn't even recognize as his own son until he was like 10 or 12, was the most kingly looking of any of his children. He was a true knight in the sense of being a knight. And he granted him before he died the sword Blackfire, which he took his name from. So Daemon became House Blackfire because of the sword, the Aegon the Conqueror's sword, the original King Targaryen in Westeros. He took his sword and took that name. Now, Aegon the Fourth giving Daemon this sword, it was a huge either miscalculation or a very messed up thing to do, because every king that is in the Targaryen line since Aegon the Conqueror has had Blackfire as their sword. So by him not giving it to his son, who is the illegitimate prince?
Daron.
By not giving it to Daron, who looked, because his mother was Dornish, correct? I think his mother was Dornish. He had the look of a Dornish.
His wife was Dornish. His mother was Dornish. Yeah.
Right. His mother was Dornish too. So he had the dark hair of the Dornish, a little bit of the dark skin of a Dornish. But Aegon looked like a Targaryen with the purplish violet eyes and the long flowing blonde hair. And it caused a rift, because of this illegitimacy, caused a rift within the kingdom for centuries. I mean, really over a century. And there was 5 Blackfire rebellions. So the last one was the monstrous. I forget his first name off the top of my head. Come on, Christy, you got this.
He's
the guy who had the 2 heads.
Melee's the monstrous. Melee's the monstrous.
You rock. But Melee's was supposedly the last male, right? So the male line was extinguished. So the Targaryens didn't have to worry about an uprising again. A lot of people don't think it's true. A lot of people think maybe the female line kept up and someone was born of that. But why can't we say Varys isn't the male and he actually has a set and he just pretends to be a eunuch? And I hope is my volume still good? Because I feel like I'm doing horrible.
It's
fine. All right.
It's perfect.
What do you guys think about that? That he isn't even just a Blackfire. He might be a Targaryen, or he might be an heir to the last male Blackfire we know of the male line.
I think you might be right. It's a good theory as any.
I think he is, because it explains so much of his behavior and his alliances.
I can see
Right.
him being a Blackfire, but I think he's a
he's
eunuch.
He's part of Targaryen blood being back in power.
Okay.
I thought it was weird though because he said that a red priest or something had cut off his junk and tossed it into the fire as blood magic.
Mhm.
Nobody who has used blood magic so far in the books have ever done that. They just take the blood. They don't take body parts.
Well, the only thing, and we did talk about that backstage. I was thinking, but Melisandre has burned people for
Yeah,
her
whole people.
religion. You know,
Whole
whole people,
body.
not just their junk. Now,
Burn the dick.
yes.
See what happens.
Now, I more or less, he's probably a eunuch. The story's a great one though. The guy threw it in the fire as he was sold as his little slave boy. He thought he was going to get raped. No, he got worse. Guy cut his twig and berries off, threw it in the fire, and a voice returned his chanting.
What a dick move.
I was waiting for that. So,
but if he is one of them, he would have
Mhm.
looked. He would have looked the part when he was younger. I mean, that would explain his shaved head,
correct.
and that's why I was sort of starting to question that story that he's created. Because why would someone do that to a Targaryen child?
Well, King's blood.
They may not know. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. His looks would have been apparent if that's why he's covering up or why he's hiding himself by shaving his head.
He's lost enough, so he just shaves now.
And just so you guys know, Christy, you were right. His wife is a Martell. His mother was Targaryen, but he just has less of that marital the look than Daemon Blackfire. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, and thank you, Jay. I think that was Jay. I don't think I've seen you in the chat, so thank you for being here. So okay, let's think of it this way: if the story wasn't real, because if he was a Targaryen, maybe the guy bought him for the simple fact that he looked Valyrian, and he knows that Valyrian blood. They keep saying king's blood, but as Stig and I always say, it's Valyrian blood is the blood they want to use in blood magic.
They literally took away his Valyrian steel.
Exactly.
Damn.
Oh. I so wish. Okay, I know he's not listening, but he sometimes comments on my Facebook, usually to yell at me for my political views. But Aziz from History of Westeros, he is the pun king too. I would love to see you guys go pun for pun because it would be perfect. Maybe someday he'll know of this channel and jump on. But so do you think there is a chance that he still has his twig and berries?
Well, there's a hint of it in the thing I just read. The voice went first,
Yeah, like we were saying backstage, it's like he was transforming to himself momentarily, to who he actually is with his real voice.
I sometimes want to believe I think he's more than a mummer. He talks about he was trained a mummer and he worked on stages and this and that. I sometimes want to believe he might be a faceless man or this is the other. Yeah, because think about it. When he was in the black cells with Ned Stark, and if this is a spoiler for anyone who hasn't finished book 1, so please don't listen for like the next 15 seconds. But when he goes down to the black cells where Ned is, Ned can't even tell it's him until he's like right in front of his face and he has to strain to see him, which usually is the glamour. People with glamour would have that. He said he looked and sounded completely different, more manly, so is that a mummer's trick or is that a faceless man trick? Now, I'm not saying he's a faceless man like Jaqen H'ghar because he can actually mold and change his face, and we haven't seen another faceless man do that, but he's more than a mummer, I think.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. I'm actually starting to question all of it. Like his whole story is bullshit. The whole image, all of it's fake.
Right. And Illyrio. Oh, I can never say his goddamn name.
Illyrio.
Illyrio has to be within. He has to be in this theory. They've been partners since they were kids. A lot of people think that Sarah, his wife, that he longs for, was the last Blackfire female and sister to Varys. That's one theory. So there's a lot of. I mean, that's how rich this story is. We could sit here for the whole 2 hours if that's what we do. We've spent 30 minutes on just like, who can Varys be? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that secta is suspicious too. That would.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
That he mentioned. George Martin tends to. When he info dumps, he glosses over kind of the very important bit. He kind of hides the real info sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think he has this technique. For the very observant reader, he will put like a micro dot worth of like a clue. And then later on, maybe in that book or the next book, he puts a little bit bigger of a clue. Like, he keeps raising the bar, and it's the people that look the deepest will find. I mean, the man's a genius.
Yeah.
Could I just say something real quick? 14 Barber. That's the thing. My brother says it, my Australian friend. And Adega Outlaw have a really awesome stream they do, and I think it's on every Monday. You guys can put the time in my chat if you like. Please subscribe to those guys. Today's chat was about like ancient civilizations, lost ones, like pre-Bible, pre-history. It's just a really cool thing. I dig it a lot. I just caught the first one today. Yeah, I thought you would find that interesting.
Yeah.
So please, guys, both of those guys, please subscribe to them. Check out their awesome stream they have, and support one another. We rise together. Back to our show. So I wanted to give them a shout out. I really enjoyed.
But you're just like back to your regularly scheduled program.
Exactly. See, another monster. I'm on board with the faceless man theory. That would mean a lot, because as we've talked before, the faceless men have connections with the Iron Bank. They might even have connections with the Children of the Forest and the Weirwoods. I mean, look at their door, right? I mean, Christy, I think you brought that up before once. The door of their, temple, if you want to call it, or church, because it has all different gods in it. One is Weirwood, and the other side is what's a black wood? Ebony. The other side is an ebony wood. Giving that black and white look.
I don't remember bringing that up, but I'll sure as hell take credit for it. That sounds really
take
cool.
credit for it.
It is.
Take credit for it. And they have a statue or a piece of a weirwood in that church where people go to die, because they have, all different, the Lion of Night and, the little shepherd boy. I mean, there's so many different weird ones. But they have all these different ones.
Maybe that's where Varys' penis is.
In the mouth of the weirwood?
Yeah.
Damn.
That was cold-blooded.
Oh, God.
Put it in the bank.
So we have a gentleman that no one knows who he really is.
No.
He has a connection to a very rich. So Christy, say his name. Illyrio. I can never say his name. Illyrio. Illyrio is one of the richest men in Bravos, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying he's doing this so he could become, the Lord of Coin, or whatever they call him in the High Council.
Master of Coin.
Master of Coin. Thank you, Christy.
Welcome.
I
I'm gonna
love
be
it.
known. I'm gonna be known as Scott's secretary.
No, you're. Hey,
I'm just kidding.
we're going places, kid. As we, but as who would want to be master of coin unless you wanted to rise up, you wanted to make money, like
Well, yeah, skim a little bit here and there.
skim the
Look at
top.
Littlefinger. Look at
But he doesn't
Littlefinger.
exactly.
He was in it for so yeah. So
I'm trying to shut up every once in a while because I realize I'm talking a lot. So I want you guys to talk, but think about that. Answer this question for me. Littlefinger, perfect person for Master of Coin. He needed to rise up. He needed to control the funds and where the money went to for his plan.
Mhm.
So does that mean that's the only reason he wants it? Because a guy that rich doesn't need a position in Westeros. The only thing I could think of is when they put Aegon on, they're going to take over the country. It's not going to be Aegon in their plan. I'm not saying Aegon will allow it, but in their plan, they want to run. It's not for the good of the realm. It's for the good of them. That's what I believe.
That, I mean, and like you said, it comes with a position, probably one of the most powerful positions they have, because you are coming in contact with other people who are incredibly rich and rich entities. You can control the lifeblood of the country with how you control its money.
Mhm.
So I could definitely see how it could either push his own personal status or push their common agenda and destroy their enemies at the same time.
But it begs the question. I'll take this from the show aspect. When Daenerys finally came, it's like they are training young Griff. No, are we supposed to be talking about young Griff or Dorne? No, we're supposed to be talking about young Griff.
You could talk about both.
I got confused. On what we were talking. Going to talk about.
It's young Griff. It's young Griff and Dorne.
Well, so he's in the Stormlands area. Let's say that he actually goes to King's Landing and gets everything. He's been trained since birth to be like Aegon the Third, like Egg, since he like in the Duncan Egg stories, and that's the king that I guess you could say Westeros would need, but he probably won't be the king.
Mhm.
But it goes to factor how the small people are gonna. I think the highborn and the lords and everything, I think they'll have an issue, but I think I don't want to say peasants, but technically peasants would love like young Griff wanting to go to power, come to power, and
what the small folk.
Out. The small folk, yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, the filthy gypsy peasant.
Damn. So, yeah.
No, I agree. That's great. But Christy, I agree with that completely. I completely agree. I've always thought the way that if let's say in the show, like Dany going crazy happens in the book, I think what is going to show the reader and the people that she's turned to a more evil dictator, tots. I'm having issues tonight. I'm sorry.
Did you just say dick tots or
no dictator tots?
Oh,
yeah. But I think the way that'll be shown.
Somebody clip that.
Yeah, you got to. But the way I think it's going to be shown in Stig, let me know what you think, is that Aegon will become king or close to it. And he thinks he needed to do this to impress her because of what Tyrion told him on the Shy Maid about, you need to be seen as equals, not a little cousin or a little nephew. So the people are going to love him. The Targaryens, the small folk have not had an issue in a century with the Targaryens. It was the Highborns that did. So she comes over, he's in power, and she ends up maybe killing him, or John Connington, because of his grayscale, does something stupid and she ends up killing them all. That's her turn. But I think he is so key in this. I think he's so important. What do you think, Ski? or Ski. That's a guy I work with, Stig. I don't even drink. That's the worst part.
So unprofessional. Anyway,
Sorry, Stig.
I think Daenerys, and this is a theory of mine because George Martin said that her seeming resistance to fire in book 1 was a one-time thing. He said that it was just a one-time thing. I think she died and got raised in the fire as Fire White, same as Melisandre and possibly Lady Stoneheart, because she seems obsessed with the stuff she was concerned with before that happened. And that's the thing with Fire Whites, right? Their hatred or feelings and stuff gets amplified, completely focused on it. And Daenerys was freeing slaves just before that thing happened, right?
Right.
And it was that plus get the throne, and that's what she's been doing. And I think in book 2, when they're wandering the desert, she doesn't seem to starve as much as the others. Not at all. People are dying around her, but she doesn't.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if she sleeps a lot either in the story. So I think she's a Fire White and doesn't know it, and that would explain, because only death may pay for life, right? And everyone assumes it's the dragons, but there could have been a ritual happening there with her.
Ooh, that's a good one, man.
Yeah, that would be a twist, and it would explain a lot of things, and it would fit like a glove with my Norse mythology story theory.
Which we will be doing a full show on one of these times because
it
all fits.
No other Targaryen has been immune to fire. The book stresses this. Her brother dies from heat, and other Targaryens have been burned to death and stuff like that. But she just says
died drinking wildfire.
Yeah, she just says it's because she's a true dragon. Nobody else says that. It's just in her head.
Damn, I didn't think about that, Steve. Damn it.
You blew my mind right there.
I know.
I mean, you've brought it up to me before, but I never thought of it that way. Now,
neither have I.
But if she was a Fire White, would the Undying in the when she's in Karth, would they want to keep her as a dead, Fire White, or they wanted to suck off her essence as a person? That's a little different. I don't know if man, that's a tough one.
I don't know. It's called the House of the Undying as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Undead. That's a little bit of foreshadowing right there.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I didn't think of it that way. But talking about the House of the Undying, now when she's there, she's having visions. And one of her greatest visions is the people that she has to be wary about. And one of them is the paper dragon. And when asked about it, she explained that a paper dragon would be used by mummers in their puppet shows, to show a dragon fighting a knight or something like that, which most likely is Aegon, and the mummer being Varys. I mean, it all fits. And then there's the part where, the sun's son, which is Dorne, and the lion and the griffin, and, like the mummer's dragon, like all these things Quaithe has told her are lining up to be kind of what I think is a conspiracy with Dorne, Aegon, Varys. I mean, they're all involved in it. No question, just throwing that out there.
But it goes back to after the Targaryens fail from the power, and Doran made that secret pact to marry Arion to Viserys. how are we not to know that Doran hasn't done something like that
Doran, yeah.
again with them? Because I know that he sent his daughter to basically like investigate like young Griff's camp and everything like that. But
Right.
so yeah.
Well, now where were you going with that though? Do you think? I think Doran has his fingers he has a master plan, but I think he has a lot of different ways it can go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one is betting on Dany and her dragons and Quentin not being fried to the bone. One is betting on Ariana, you know, taking this young man Aegon and pretty much using, I think he wants her to use her sexuality to bring him into the Dornish fold. And Griffin's Roost John Connington sent them that letter to the Martells saying, you know, this is Martellia's son. We need your help. Raise your banners. Come with us. You know, not word for word, but that's pretty much what he was saying.
That's pretty much what it's saying. But I also don't think that they're going to take that very likely, because it's Elia and Oberyn were closer, and it was known for John's dislike of her, and so for him to send that letter and be like, "Hey, here's your son, come." He was jealous, but I think they're not going to be like, oh, hunky dory with as John thinks it is, like basically, here's your nephew, come back, he's alive type thing. That's basically what I'm thinking, trying to say.
Well, if you think about what Doran wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants revenge on Tywin, on Clegane, and on Lorch, and the Lannisters in general, because Lorch was the one who stabbed one of the babies, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Doran Martell is very much tied to Marwyn, the Maester with a bad reputation, and he is tied to the brave companions who were hired by the Lannisters at first, then joined the Boltons. They catch Lorch and kill him right away, and they also chop Jaime's hand off. That's not what old lords do. They take prisoners and hold them for ransom and stuff. They just don't kill.
Mostly a Jaime Lannister, right? A Jaime Lannister whole brings way more money than a Jaime Lannister with his sword hand chopped off for no reason. For no reason.
Oh, it's not for no reason.
Well, you know what I mean. It looks,
His fighting ability is gone. He can't be a Kingsguard anymore. So that would that hurts Tywin, right? Because they basically neuter his son, and that leaves Cersei, Tommen, and Myrcella, which are probably going to be hurt some way as well because they're Lannisters.
Well, and that's what Joe says right down here too. Don't forget Tristan and Myrcella could even be a backup plan.
Oh yeah, and here's another thing that might be a twist. Remember Qyburn? He kind of conveniently showed up.
Yes.
He was left alive, even though the brave companions, I think it was, had sacked the place. Yeah, he studied under Marwyn.
Right.
And both of them studied dark magic.
Who else did?
Qyburn.
No, but who else who was another person involved in a Targaryen that was part of this dark magic, a shy teachings? It was that mage from the one that Dany burns, the one she sacrifices for what she did to Drogon. Or Drogon, I do it every time.
Mary Mazor.
Yeah,
yes,
and he's also sent Sorella to the Citadel to study dark magic, I believe.
To be around him, right?
Yeah, and she has already showed up because Alaris is Sorella backwards.
Right. Right.
And
Dude, you know I didn't notice that until someone said it. I feel like such a moron, but I didn't realize that until I heard it somewhere else.
yeah, and there's another thing that struck me that when Tywin gets killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is all bloated and it stinks like he's rotting. So I think Shay poisoned him, and that's why he was in the bathroom, right, on the privy when Tyrion got him. And I'm thinking Shay was maybe Dorne's bastard, right? One of the Red Vipers bastards or something,
Right.
because she was very conveniently there. And I think when Tyrion killed her, she was telling the truth. He actually killed a very good girlfriend.
Right. I mean, she
But
wanted.
he didn't love her.
That's what she thought, at least.
Yeah, but I think she had poisoned Tywin.
And maybe that was her long-term goal.
Yeah, because the same stench is coming from Clegane.
Right.
When he's been poisoned by the Red Viper.
And which poison is that? The Strangler? No, not the Strangler. The Shade of the Evening? Which one? I can't remember. The one that they even talk about that makes your bowels lock up and you stink.
Yeah, the bowels lock up. He was sitting in the toilet.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And don't forget who brought Shay to Tyrion too at the Battle of the Green Fork, I believe.
That was the Brave Companions.
No, it was his boy. It was
oh yeah.
Bronn.
Yeah.
Now Bronn could be a part of it too.
Yeah, but the Brave Companions were there because they were hired by the Lannisters.
Right. Right. Don't forget when he asked, "Where did you find her?" I took her from some lordling. And a lot of people believe that she came to the camp with Tywin to do that job you talk about. And then Bronn brings her to Tyrion. She falls in love with Tyrion. But then when Tyrion kind of pushes her away, tells her to leave, gets married, really breaks her heart, she goes back to doing, in your theory, goes back to doing what she was there to do in the first place and kill Tywin. That's pretty genius, man. I like that one.
Oh, yeah.
We use Tyrion to get close to Tywin.
Now, yes.
And it also makes sense with Bronn being involved since we don't know his background.
Right. And all he is he keeps rising while everybody else is falling around him.
Yeah.
Think about it. He's rising up and he makes it seem like he's so angry when he didn't support Tyrion as his champion. But come on, we don't know that. Adam Price has a great one here. Didn't the Stark Maester study something magic? Yes. And I'm pretty damn sure this time it was you, Christy, that brought it up. The Valyrian steel chain.
Yes, Maester Luwin.
Right. Maester Luwin had one. In the world of Westeros, the Maesters wear chains. Each chain is made of a different metal, and it tells what they studied in past. And a very small one will be Valyrian steel, and that means you studied the mystic arts. And not many Maesters have that. Yeah,
but Qyburn and Morwen had studied forbidden magic.
Right. In a shy. I know maybe not Qyburn, but
Morwen certainly did. And
Morwen did
and he taught Qyburn, who now has made a Frankenstein.
See, I love this stream because I don't care what I put in the title. We go wherever it takes us, people.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I mean, because there's when you say, it's hard not to say fAegon. So I'm just over here like saying with young Griff and John in them.
Right.
Like I told Stig, I was like, what if Septa Lemore. I was
oh my God, I gave you the answer. Yay.
Well, because I was going to say Septa Lemu.
Septa Lemu.
What if I was like, well, what if she's a Shardane?
Right. A lot of people have said that.
Yeah.
I don't think it matches up though.
I know, but I mean, it's just
It opens the door.
It opens the door, yeah.
Yeah, no, I give you that too. I mean, they all have some, except for the boat captain and his wife. All the others are going by, a different name, and Tyrion figures it out, but he never figures out who she is. But even being a little bit older, she would only have been in her 30s. I think Tyrion would have not just said she was, I think he says she's like comely, however you say, kind of like a handsome woman, but a Chardane at 30, 31, 32 would still be gorgeous, so, yeah. And she had those eyes too. And he never talks about the eyes, and George always makes sure that eyes are talked about if it's important.
I mean, she could have been in disguise.
Yeah.
To be fair, Tyrion has trouble looking up at eyes anyway.
He's
Jesus Christ, Steve.
Well, you got a point.
He's mostly navel gazing.
Yeah. Oh, Joe. Thank you, Joe. It was Widow's Blood is the potion that shuts down the bowels. Joe, you rock, brother. Thank you so much. The Gilkman is here. Hello, Gilkman. Thank you for stopping by. Please, guys, if you're not subscribed to the Gilkman, please do, because he's real. Let's just put it that way. He's real. He talks about what's going on with him at that moment. It could be fun or it could be real serious. Show him the support and love. And also Orville Nation and Ord's Board, and Tommy's just dropping everybody's links, and I love him for that. Thank you.
Yeah. Widow's Blood poison, though, fits like a glove.
Right.
Because of the stench, the fact that he was in the privy.
And he was hurting.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after he was shot that the stench happened, because once he died, his bowels loosened up. It wasn't while he was on the shitter, and Tyrion never says he stinks then.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I hate to do a pun, but I mean, that would be really shitty. A really shitty way to die. To literally die on the crapper.
He just shot him till he shot himself.
Oh man, that's so awesome. But it wasn't until after, when they go to see the body and he stinks up the Septa Baelor, which is like the 16th chapel. That's how big it is.
Yeah, because he voided himself when he died, right?
Right.
So that went down the privy. So there's nothing in him that, he's not full of stinky shit anymore. It's out. So
thank you, Ord's Board.
He's rotting from the inside out, literally.
Yeah, literally. And it's a slow, painful death, Yeah, Snatch Face the Fool is here. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. Elvis died on the toilet. I don't know if that's true. I think he died in the bathroom. I think the whole toilet thing is more of the myth than I think he died on the bathroom floor, and I don't know if his pants were around his ankles. I think that's an urban legend, but you may have a right. But Elvis could still be alive. I mean, his middle name is spelled wrong on his tombstone. Dun, dun, dun. Let's move on. So I don't even know where we are now. We are so just trying to box in this whole thing. Dorne's is a conspiracy, man. I don't know if any of you guys follow Preston Jacobs. I know a lot of people don't like talking about other channels when they're on, but Preston Jacobs, I love his material.
Oh yeah, it's the premier channel on this subject. As far as
thank you. There are certain channels I don't miss, and I'm going to tell you all right now. There is Preston Jacob, History of Westeros, because they are so meta and they go so deep with it. There is Ideas of Ice and Fire.
Quinn's Ideas.
Yeah, Quinn's Ideas of Ice and Fire. Lucifer Means Lightbringer is one of my favorites, and I told Stig about, because he's very all about the metaphors and talks about the comet and moon explosions. I mean, he goes deep into it. Love his stuff. There's so many good ones out there. Mm-hmm. Even Chris from Smokescreen, when he does Game of Thrones stuff, it's so much fun. So this is a great community that I'm not really part of, because I'm more a part still with my boys of the Fandom Menace, which I will be to the day I die. But I love that community. Go ahead.
I was going to say I like how they incorporate more of the book idea. They do talk with the show, but like the take, it used to be called Screen Prism. I was listening to stuff that they talked about, like they had videos talking about the Game of Thrones, the show, and stuff like that, and they incorporated some book ideas. But I mean, it took everything in me. I was like, that's not correct. That's not right.
Right.
Because they have a million subscribers and stuff. They're never gonna listen or say anything or comment. It's just it drives me crazy when the books aren't. Yeah.
No, what do you mean? Like, are you saying it drives you crazy when?
It drives me crazy when you try to incorporate what's in the books that was for, and then try to incorporate that with how everything turned out with season 8. I know I've been talking about the show a lot and stuff like that, but the books are a different course and everything like that. And I like how we talk more about the books here. So yay.
Yeah, because the TV show went to shit, really.
It really did.
After season 4, that's when they went full fan fiction, and the ripple effects of all the plot holes is what gives season 8. Season 8, but by itself, didn't ruin anything. It started before that.
Oh yeah.
You know what's the sad thing too is there's one episode of season 8 I liked. Can you guess which one it was?
Which one?
Either the first or second one.
Second one. It was the second one. I thought the prep for the battle, the camaraderie, the people, interaction with different people, coming together, knowing this might be the last day of their lives, even though no one freaking dies
at all.
Despite
even
being
though
surrounded. You think they die 30 times over. Can we bitch? Let's bitch for a minute, okay? Because occasionally you just gotta let it out.
Jorah, Theon, and Ed died though.
Yeah,
but
Theon, that was a waste of a death. I mean, the whole
Melisandre just crumbled to dust for no reason.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't happen the last time.
Yeah, Jorah dies the one heroic death. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, Sam and
say that again.
Sam and Brienne clearly had plot armor. They were grabbed by the zombies constantly, and they just stood there and screamed, and nobody finished them off.
Is no one going to talk about how Jon left Sam to literally die?
Well, Sam was just sitting there crying or whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying though. But it's never. I'm just like I'm gonna start cussing Spanish.
He let him die. Please cuss whatever Spanish you want.
It's just like Stig said it earlier. Stig said it over the weekend that they were leading up to Lady Stoneheart, I believe, with season 3. And,
yeah,
but they just didn't do it.
Yeah, they spent an hour setting it up. Arya talking to Beric. And why the hell keep Beric around?
No, he's the blocker.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with anything, really, when it came to the plot.
So there's a couple things I just got to hit on. That is my PayPal account. I just set it up today. Maybe it's not active yet. It told me it was. So if it's not working, I appreciate anybody who is trying to, donate. Maybe I can get this figured out for next time. But I appreciate that, guys.
Give him money. He needs to buy milk.
I gotta buy a new freaking computer. So
he needs to buy milk.
I buy so much milk. I have 2 little girls. They drink a lot of milk. I don't know. The show wasn't George. It was George barely after season 1. You know what I mean? Like those guys, it just came obvious that they weren't. None of the people in the writing room were of the caliber of George R.R. Martin. And that's really the truth. They forgot that the The story was about a heart and conflict and between people and not the magic. The magic was an afterthought in this world. Yes, at some point we're going to get that massive battle, we hope. But if George doesn't do it, he does it off screen, it still will be amazing whatever he writes.
Yeah,
I truly believe that.
There has to be a POV character in the area when it happens. Otherwise, we don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Happened with a lot of Rob Stark's battles because he didn't have a POV chapter.
Oh, Snatchface, Euron. Let's not even talk about Euron, the sand snakes, Dorne. Just throw it all out.
Ilaria is completely different in the books. I want everybody to
explain that.
She is completely anti-war. She doesn't want her even though oh god, what the hell's her daughter's name? The oldest sand snake. Tyene.
Tyene, yeah.
No, is it Tyene? No, it's not Tyene.
Lady Nim? No.
No, Lady Nim and Lady and Obara are not her children. But she thinks she thinks of them as him. What I'm saying is she wants everybody to like live and stuff like that, versus her portrayal in the show. That's
ridiculous.
You have Lady Nim, who is currently on the small council in King's Landing. You have Tyene, who is infiltrating the faith. And I forget what Obara is doing. I don't remember what she's doing.
She was the worst one on the show too.
She was, but but as far as in the books, it's just like they had their plots, and they even wanted to. Eliasan, that's who it is.
Joe is on point.
They even wanted to put Marcella on the throne because they recognize like oldest to youngest, whether it's a male or female. It's whoever oldest rules. That's why.
Yep. And she sends her youngest children to different castles and different holdfasts to keep them safe because she's worried that Dorne's going to be attacked. Like, she is so anti. And let me just jump in with this real quick. Ord's board, I'm going to call it a Super Scott. He donated $10 with a Super Scott to, and I will entertain you. I'll do like a Doomcock thing. Hello, my darling. Hello, my baby. Hello, my right-time girl. There you go.
Don't send him any more money.
If you don't want me to sing anymore, send money now. Yeah. This is the problem with the show. I feel bad for people that never read the books because thank God I found the show was coming out and I decided to read book 1 before season 1 came out. And I am so grateful I did that because after season 1, I was like, oh, I got to read the rest of these. I read the book. The book was great. Season 1 was really, really strong. There was just a couple little things that I knew they changed, but I was like, well, I could see why they did that. Season 2 was all right. 3 was all right. But season 4 was the last of anything really George. And I'm just grateful that I gave the books a chance before the show, because if any of you people out there are just show watchers, please, for the love of God, get audio, get whatever, read the book, do it. What do you think, Jayne?
Oh, absolutely. I went through those books so fast. Even though they're huge, I think I was finishing them like a weekend at a time. They're just amazing. They're incredibly well done, so deep, so layered. And it's just like all the discussion we've been having today where everything could have a different meaning or different interpretation or could serve different purposes. You know, it's just like you just don't know. And that's what's so exciting about it.
Exactly. And to answer Joe here, I think Balon Swan actually died. Balon Swan was a Knight's Guard or King's Guard. He slept with Ariana. And when the guy with the axe from Dorne, Doran's bodyguard is
Gerald Dane. I
No.
remember they were going to go after Gerald.
That's Dark.
Sorry.
Dark Star is Gerald Dane, the guy
Yeah.
with the axe that protects Doran Martell. He's
Ario.
I know his name. Ario, Ruthie. I don't know.
Rufar. Yeah, sure.
I
He kills him though. So Balon Swan's dead because Ariana thinks about him a few times, feeling bad for what she did, using him to get close to Marcella. She's with another guy that used to mess around with her. A Sand. He's a Sand too, but I can't remember his name now. Crap. One of these days I really will be prepared. There's just so many things to remember. Oh, another monster. Really quick. What did another monster say? Don't quit my day job.
Yeah.
Hold on, where was that? Damn.
Further up, he said Euron and Dario is the same person. I happen to believe that too, and we'll be talking about that pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, I think next week, right?
Yeah, there's
Next week.
I think there's a reason why Euron is a Welsh word for gold. But yeah, we'll get.
But aren't there some issues with that with time, like when they're in different the time it would take him to get from one scene to the next?
Yeah, but he has a warlock and he's painting the deck of his ship with blood, and there's hints of that making his ship go faster.
Misinterpretation. You guys are right. It was Oakheart that died. My bad. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, your Pandia.
Seriously though, Sir Eris Oakheart, that's a badass name.
Yes, it is. And that's taken. Oakheart is taken from. I want to say is that Lord of the Rings?
No.
From The Hobbit.
No, but one of
that's
the
Oakenshield. There is an Oakenshield, right?
Yeah, there's an Oakenshield. That's a castle at the wall.
That's right.
That's
right.
That's a little hello to Tolkien. And there's another one, a guy called Sir Trevor Jourdain of House Tor. That's Robert Jordan, because Trevor is Robert backwards. And his books were published by Tor Publishing. He's another, epic fantasy writer.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that there's also the when John's at the end of A Dance with Dragons with John, when he goes out to see what's the commotion, and it's 1-1 versus that the knight, he's fighting a knight, like gonna rip his arms off. That's supposed to be the Cowboys versus the Giants, because the knight is the cowboy and the giant is the giant, and that is George slipping in his football love of the Giants and the hate for the Dallas Cowboys, which is pretty funny. So many things.
So to bring it back to Young Griff.
Yes, please do.
Why is the Golden Company, it swears allegiance to Young Griff Aegon, but the officers basically agreed to keep his identity secret from the soldiers until they get to Westeros. Why? Normally, the Golden Company was founded by a Targaryen bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, sorry if you hear my cat.
No, don't worry about the cat. Let the cat go. Let the cat go. Can I say something real quick though? I want to thank Thomas Gilkey for a super Scott. He sent $20. Thomas, you don't have to do that, man. I really appreciate it though. He is such a supporter. Even during this time, it's hard for me to even ask anybody for anything. I feel weird, but thank you. It means a lot to me that you guys donated. I just want you to know that. Please subscribe to their channels. Go on, please. I feel awkward now.
No, that's okay. It's just it was founded by a Targaryen bastard. So why all of a sudden with the Golden Company, it makes me lead back to Illyrio and Varys. I can't think that all it ties together. We just don't know everything.
Well, put it this way. They have like you said, they have never broken a contract, but yet they're breaking a contract for a Targaryen when every war that the Blackfire rebellions, they have always sided with the Blackfires because Bittersteel was their founder. So you're telling me all of a sudden now they're going to fight for a Targaryen and break a contract, which is they're saying is like our word is gold, or, you know, like pretty much they never break a contract. So that right there will tell you how is Aegon really a Targaryen? Is that really the gist of what you're saying too?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's my biggest thing of saying he's not a Targaryen. The gold company would never break a contract, and most definitely not for a Targaryen. And a lot of people fight that by saying, oh, well, you know, they just want that blood back, the dragon back on. Doesn't matter if, oh, wait a minute, here it is, black or red, a dragon's still a dragon, Joe says. I just don't think the Golden Company would do it, though. They have fought for over 1,000 like 100 years for the Blackfires, not the target against the Targaryens. And there he goes. Sir Patrick, Adam Price says Sir Patrick Sigil was the Dallas Cowboy star and a New York Giant killed him. That's right. Thank you, sir. The one thing I have to say with Varys is Varys says power lies with where people believe it lies.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if he says he's a Targaryen and they believe he's a Targaryen, then guess what? He's a Targaryen. I mean, that goes throughout history. You know, people, usurpers like Robert Baratheon, usurp the crown and then they're the king because power lies where people believe it lies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, only usurper to people that are still believe the Targaryens should be kings. You know what I mean? So it's like, go ahead, Jane.
What if what we're seeing though is that merger of the dragons? I mean, maybe going forward there won't be a difference if the Blackfires are now supporting a Targaryen.
Well, and that's what a lot of people think. They just want the dragon, like Joe was saying.
Yeah, I mean, if the Blackfires aren't in, I say Blackfires, Viserys or Varys isn't, if he has reconciled his support behind a Targaryen, then I don't know why other Blackfire supporters would be upset.
Yeah. There's so much bad blood. Like, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think we'll find out, like everything. We're going to find out in this next book is the culmination, I think, of everything George has done, because don't forget, it's like book 1, book 2, even though big things happen in book 1, they set up book 3's big surprise ending, you know, and then book 3, 4 and 5, I feel like are setting up book 6 final huge, you know, battle of whatever it is, you know, like, I just think this book is just going to be off the hook, but there's so many ways it can go.
Oh, there's
you know,
there's a lot of stuff that will be revealed in book 6. There's some stuff with Bran for sure, because he ate Jojen, I think.
Jojen paste.
Yeah,
or at least got his blood. They're at least draining him.
Yeah, and then there's the Winterfell battle, the Marine battle,
battle down at Old Town,
and we probably will know what's going on in Dorne at the end of the book.
Yep. There's so much.
Oh, and you know, of course, the book 5 pretty much ends with Brienne taking Jaime to Lady Stoneheart, so she's definitely going to be in it. I don't think she'll survive book 6, though. I think
no, she'll have to sacrifice herself somehow, and it might be like you said once before for Jon. Someone said that.
I was so upset that we didn't get the direwolves in season 8.
And their hair is too hard. I like what the Gilkman says too. Like we were just saying, I wish we saw Lady Stoneheart. And thank you again, Thomas. It meant a lot to me. And then right down to Adam Price saying, you know, I wish I saw Patchface, because to me, Patchface is one of the biggest losses. And also the Ghost of Highheart. these people that have premonitions that mean something. Patchface hasn't been wrong if you just understand what Patchface is saying. You know, a lot of those visions, people's visions are starting to come true. And everyone Dany has seen is dead except Stig. Didn't you say that? Everyone Dany saw in her vision is dead except for fAegon, who she saw as the Mummer's dragon. You know, John Con and fAegon. Maybe that was somebody else, and I'm completely blowing that up. Here's a good one. That's what they are trying to do with fAegon and trying to marry to Dany to meld those bloodlines. And then you have your I got it. I got to get that name right. Pendai. The only person that would really care about Aegon legitimacy as a Targ is Dany.
Right.
And that's the truth. That's my biggest thing. And I don't know if you guys agree or not. But let's say he does win, and let's say everyone believes he's a Blackfire or believes he's a Targaryen. Doesn't matter, but he wins the throne, and in the little time he does good things for the people. Do you really think they care who he is?
No.
Well, you know, George Martin said in an interview, and this was after Book 5 had come up, and he said that there's a couple of more that will sit on the throne before it's over. And currently,
Yes,
Tommen is in there, so there's at least 2 then after Tommen.
Right. Yep, and you're absolutely right. It'll be Tommen, probably then Aegon, Dany, and then maybe Bran. Joe once again is go ahead. No, please go.
Sorry. I think Bran being the king of Westeros is the stupidest mother beepity beep 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 thing there is. I'm sorry. I hate it. I can't stand it.
I can't see it.
Neither can I.
I can.
How?
I can see it, but not the way it ended. I could see him being the king, but as being the king and being the last Green Seer, we actually, mankind lost.
I don't think there's going to be anyone on the throne in the end.
That's probably the most likely. The throne will be destroyed.
Yeah, because
maybe not by dragon fire because he's angry. Mommy died.
I'm completely convinced that the Ragnarok theory fits, and that means there's 2 children left, which in this case would be children of the forest, and incidentally, one of them is called Leaf in the Ragnarok myth.
So all the humans die.
Yeah.
And who is Leaf in the Ragnarok again?
It just says that it's
one of the children is Leaf, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the children in the Ragnarok story is Leaf, spelled differently though. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, spelled a bit differently, but they're just right at the end. It says 2 children, one named Leaf, and the other one was named something else. Can't remember. That's the only place they're mentioned in it.
Right.
It's only two left, and the world will be repopulated or something, reborn.
Right. That's so dope. We're gonna do that in one of our shows. We have to.
And George Martin has said several times that the ending will be very bittersweet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also said that he pictures the ending being like snow falling on a pile of gravestones.
I've never heard that one.
Oh, he said that. So I think they're all gonna die.
And well, some of them will be dead already. John coming back either as a white or a fire white or a weird warg white of some sort.
Yeah, and you have like
a
powerful message in that too. Humans can't put aside their petty squabbles.
Yep.
To save themselves against a mutual threat or something.
Wow. Well, don't forget, George is a huge pacifist. He is anti-war. I mean, for a guy who writes battles like no other, he is anti-war. He wanted to show everybody the harsh reality of war in this story, and he has. I mean, look at the Riverlands. They're being, please don't take this, but the land and people are being raped by Clegane and his crew, and now you had the brothers without banners trying to protect them, but no longer really because they're under Lady Stoneheart's control. I mean, it's really kind of crazy.
And pretty much every death in the story is gruesome as heck.
Yeah. So let me ask a question, kind of getting back to what we're talking about. Doran Martell, what does anybody have an idea what this guy's all about?
He wants his blood on the throne. That's all that I think. He wants to do his sister justice, but he's all about power too.
Do you think he used the Red Viper and his love for his sister, for Elia, as his like attack dog?
To a certain extent, but I don't think he wanted his brother to die.
Right.
I mean, but to a certain extent, yes. I mean, I think with Doran, is it it's Doran.
Yeah,
Doran. I always get them mixed up. He's like in preteens, mid-teenagers by the time Elia is born. So they're not going to be any. That's the reason why Oberyn and Elia have the relationship that they do, is because they were closer in age. So he was already learning from his mother how to rule Dorne. And so, again, I think he wants to see justice for his sister, his niece, and his supposed nephew, and his brother. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about power too.
And I don't think those are mutually exclusive either. He can have his political ambition as the leader of his people, and at the same time have the Red Viper, who, I mean, they could be on the same accord, but he's the one who's actually sort of the general, the one who's going for blood, for revenge.
Well, don't doesn't Doran say, like, you know, he was the snake, the Red Viper, and I was the grass? You know, I hid it, you know, I hit him while he coiled up and attacked, pretty much. And you gotta, really it is. And Doran, he wants everyone to think he's weak. He doesn't mind that people think he's this weak, gout-ridden man. I think his plan is so diverse. That's the problem, where people can't nail it down. It's like it goes in different directions. You have, and I think the Aegon thing is something that threw him off completely, because I want to say in one of the sample chapters, Ariana, there's too many like names that are close. Ariana is like, she could tell her father's doesn't know, like he's trusting her because he can't travel and see with his own eyes a massive thing. She has the ability to send the troops of Dorne out into the world and be, you know, don't let the grass protect them anymore. The snake is loose, because if she gives the, you know, there's like a coded message. If she says war, then they don't do anything. And if she says, you know, no war, then they go and help Aegon. It's something backwards, but, you know, he has Quentin, he has the Marcella type thing going on. He has all the sand snakes doing things. I mean, the guy he spread it out so that at some point the Ronar, they could take over again and take Westeros and beat the Valyrians, because don't forget, their people have been at war before Westeros was even founded. You know, you have the Ronar versus the Valyrians. Go ahead, Stig.
Also, he has spread his relatives, or other agents in this case, out into key positions all over the map. And I think Shay had something to do with it too. I think she was tied to Dorne. I think she poisoned her.
Where was she from? Was she from Lys? I don't remember where did we ever find out where she was from? Because don't forget, the Red Viper, Oberyn went all around the world. You know, he could have met her and brought her back, or she could just say she's from across the Narrow Sea and really be from Dorne, because she has that same type of accent as the Dornish.
Yeah, the actress they cast,
Ronar.
the actress they cast for Shay, I think, has Turkish origins.
Welcome, Derek C. Yeah. She's definitely. Yeah, she has that.
I'm trying to see. I'm looking at the wiki of Ice and Fire right now. I'm skimming, and I really don't see. I don't really don't see anything, unless somebody else remembers
About what?
about where she's from.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know either. Though while you're in there, if you can find the books that were left in the castle or the tower with our Ariana, it might be under her wiki. The books he left, like Stig was saying, were so important to her understanding of his plan. And I think that would give us a lot of answers on what his plan is. I mean, one of the books definitely talked about the rights of succession in Dorne. I want to say one talked about dragons. It was
Probably
Maester Barth.
What books were left in the tower?
When she was locked up in the tower for Ariana.
Was locked in the tower. You gotta love the internet.
Oh, Derek C, brother, we are with you. I am so tired of waiting too.
Same.
I think everyone expected back in like 2016 and then 18, we were like, all right, this is the year. And I really think we'll be lucky if we get this by Christmas this year. Because usually I remember him releasing them around that time. So I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those things that's very aggravating. But if it's going to be a masterpiece, it was worth the wait.
Well, so he had said somewhere where he was going to have it done by like some kind of Worldcon.
Yeah, in New Zealand.
And that's in July. Well, What does that mean? Is it going to be given to the publisher is
right? Right, it's a book in hand. He said book in hand. So does that mean a finished copy but not ready hasn't been printed yet? Or will he have the first printed book with him? Like, what does that mean? I don't think it'll be released in July. If anything, it'll be a few months later when he's able to. And then this whole beer bug has messed with his plans probably. I mean, it gave him more time to write, but when he needs to do a book tour and things like that, they're not going to want him to do it in the fall.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a 2-year-old good guy. Like, I don't want to see George die. Please don't die, George.
I just looked something up. The name Shay means stately or dauntless or majestic. So the name would indicate royalty.
And that she wasn't, what they made her out to be. Well, don't forget, George loves the past repeating itself. And Tyrion's first wife, his wife, was not a whore. She wasn't paid. She wasn't made to do anything. She was forced to be. She was raped. She was raped by all his soldiers and then Tyrion. And she never said anything. So why couldn't Shay be somewhat the same? She was not forced to love Tyrion. She fell in love with him. And now, he comes back and sees what he sees, and it's really not what it meant to be. It was something completely different.
Yeah.
But will that ever even be answered? Oh yeah, he did say that, Joe. If he arrives without a book, they'll lock him up. They can lock him up until he's done. I would freaking love to see that. The gods are
I would help pay for
against stuff.
I mean,
I would too.
Because I try. Because Steve makes a good point, and he when I bitch about the book, when I bitch about Wins the Winner, he kind of reels me in with the process and everything like that. But I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, it's been like almost 10 years.
Yeah, no, it's almost 2011 was the last book. It'll be 10 years next year.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's ridiculous.
I get that. I get there's a lot of rich history, and you wanting to be accurate and stuff like that. But I'm just like, ugh.
No, it is maddening. There's two sides of me. I don't want to rush the art,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I want to rush the artist. You know what I mean? Like, I
But
want
when
him.
it comes out, I'm going on vacation. I'm just going to take
Oh.
a week.
Yeah.
I'm telling you all, I'm off of YouTube for at least. I'm a slow reader. It might be 2 weeks.
Oh, here's another one. George has said many times that the names are not random. He actually picks the names carefully. And John means gift of God. Azor Ahai, maybe.
See, that's the thing I love, Stig, is the depths George goes. His picking of names was, he said it took him a long time to get certain names down because he wanted the correct name to relate to that person. You know, so I bet you if you looked up a version of Eddard, you know, because I always thought, oh, he's spelling Brian with a Y. He's, you know, like he changes names by one letter because that's what it feels like.
No,
but he does it for purpose.
I think I know why he's named Eddard.
Oh, give it to us, brother.
The Eddard starts the whole story, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Richard III.
What?
No, sorry, I'm thinking something else. Sorry.
You
Don't.
bastard.
No, he's the start of the story, and I've been harping about the Ragnarok theory.
Mm-hmm.
That story is written in a book called Edda. He just added an R and a D behind the book title.
Edda. So damn.
EDA. Just look it up. That's the book where the Ragnarok story is written in. It's thousands.
And what starts this whole story is Eddard Stark, really.
Yes.
It was his going to King's Landing and his, yeah.
The book is called the Poetic Edda. That's the name of the book.
Oh, well, look at this. My man, Derek C. Have you ever compared it to Ragnarok? Yes, Stig is deep into that. We are going not next Monday, but maybe the Monday after. So Stig, I'll give you a couple weeks to prepare. Stig is going to lead us through his Ragnarok theory. So if you need more than that too, Stig, let me know. But please subscribe, guys, and ding the notification so you find out, because we are going to do that. Next week, we're going to be going over what's going on with the what was it again, Stig? We're doing the Greyjoys.
Yeah.
So what all the Greyjoys are doing.
Yeah, for people watching that doesn't know what the Ragnarok thing is, it's basically the end of the world, and it starts with a period of strife and disease, and a lot of war happens, and it's specified that it includes patricide and brothers killing brothers, and it's then followed by an extra cold and an extra long winter, where fire giants and frost giants attack, Asgard and humanity,
and destroy it. Right?
Yeah,
that's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, and
Scandinavian Armageddon.
Yeah, and I mean, you have all of it in there. You have Heimdall, who's the Watcher. Watcher on the wall.
Right.
The wall itself is made by ice, same as the Bifrost Bridge, which separates Asgard from the world of giants and stuff. So if they cross the bridge, they get to Asgard. If they cross the wall, they get to the people of Westeros.
Yeah, we're definitely doing that. You think 2 weeks is long enough for you?
I could probably do it in a few days, actually.
All right, we're doing it in 2 weeks. We're gonna do it in 2 weeks. We're gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna be honest with you, people. This was one of my weaker ones. I love the Aegon thing, but Dorne really confuses the hell out of me. So maybe we'll some way down the road revisit this when we do a little more research. But next week we will be talking. Next Monday night we'll be talking about the Greyjoys. So we got Theon, we got Osha, Asha. We got
Asha.
Asha. Yeah, they changed her name in the TV show, didn't they? What do they call her in the TV show?
Yeah.
Yara.
Yara.
No,
Yeah.
the fun thing is that they changed it so Asha wouldn't be confused with Usha,
Yeah.
and then people confused Yara with Arya.
Who else do we got? We got Victorian Greyjoy, who's has a big role to play, I think, at least getting Dany back to Westeros. And then we have the great Euron Greyjoy, who's just misunderstood. You know,
That's an understatement.
yeah, you know, he molested and killed his brothers. Whatever. No big whoop.
And he's not the hot topic pirate like he was in the show.
No, God no. God no. And I got a lot of good reviews on our book club, even though we didn't do all 20 chapters, we only did 6. Every Wednesday, we're going to see if that works out. But for now, every Wednesday at about this week will be 6:30, but it'll regularly be 7:15 because that's my time slot. But this week 6:30, so Stig and Miss Muse can come join us. We're going to be talking chapters probably like 7 through hopefully 15. And then the week after that, I'm hoping to invite more people from the chat on. So if you're not crazy, you know, and you have at least some way to talk online, maybe you can join us for one of those. And I could always just drop you out if you're nuts. So don't worry about that. Be nuts if you need to be. I'm crazy. But I appreciate everything from you guys. And thank you again to Ords and Gilkman for supporting this channel. It really will help out. That might be a little portion going to my next computer. So I appreciate that, guys. Any last words on Dorne and Aegon or fAegon?
I would say I agree with Derek. I think that this is the real heir. I think Varys would have done. I think he is a Blackfire, and I think he would have done anything to save the true heir to the throne and raise him to be a king. And I think that's what the entire conspiracy is for. I think a lot of even though there is evidence either way, I think there's a lot more evidence to sort of support that theory. And however, I don't think that he will be the king that they anticipate. And I think some of his behavior that we've seen shows a darker problem that they don't quite see.
I
That's
think
good. I
I think Jayne is spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to go into that a little bit more. Okay. Christy, how about you?
I mean, I agree with Jayne. It's just it's hard not to. They've built Varys up as a eunuch so much. It's hard not to think of him as nothing but the eunuch, and I think he really is. I think it's Blackfire. I think young Griff is. I don't think he's a Targaryen though. I think I think he's a Blackfire too.
Well, we never said it. Do you think he's Illyrio's son?
I think he's Illyrio's son.
Okay.
I think Illyrio's wife Sarah. I think she had a son, and they're trying to pass him off. They're trying to get Blackfire blood back onto the Iron Throne.
And I want to believe that she died giving birth to him, just like Jon, just like Dany, just like Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems to be a thing with Targaryens, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the only problem I have with that theory, though, is that why would Varys tell a lie to a lying man? That seems weird.
I agree. The only thing I could say is that Varys hears everything within the walls. So maybe he's worried that somebody else may overhear him. And if they do, they'll at least think that Aegon is real before they kill him. You know what I mean? Instead of knowing the truth.
Or maybe he knows someone is listening.
That could be it. Ooh, da, da, da. That's true. Again, his little birds are his, but could they all be his? You never know.
Yeah, maybe some of them are Qyburns and he knows it, and he's saying it so that one of them will report back to Qyburn. But then again, what's the point in it? Because if he hadn't done it, then he wouldn't have known of Aegon anyway.
But Qyburn isn't as prominent in. I mean, he is, but he isn't in the books though. Like how they portray him in the show.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I mean, it's. Yeah, I can get that.
No, I get.
It's all we know is it did something nasty with Jayne.
Mm-hmm.
Some people believe it's Robert Baratheon's head on him.
Oh.
No, but it's Robert Baratheon's head on this Strong that they used. That they did cut off his real head, send it to Dorne, because don't forget they got a huge skull, clean skull in a package.
Well,
And
they got a dwarf's head too, that looked like Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a thought, though, because there's a prophecy about the younger sibling choking Cersei.
Right.
So if it looks like Tyrion, and Qyburn just has Robert Strong killer, right?
Using that dwarf's head, because he keeps it, doesn't he? I forgot about that.
Yeah, he actually kept it. Yes,
that's true. That's my cat now.
I know.
Or it would be even creepier if it's Joffrey's head, because he's actually a younger sibling. Because Cersei. Cersei had a black-haired kid.
Mm-hmm.
Died, and I think she killed him.
Yeah, I mean that one has always been weird to me. And then I don't know, and think about it could also the younger sibling could also be Arya dressed as one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's tiny though. She's not going to choke Cersei. Arya's like 12.
Why not?
You're right. Well,
if she's going to go down the road with the whole faceless man thing, I mean.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the body; it just changes the face in the books.
Right, and I don't think George would fall for that, as other people would have a 9-year-old girl be able to choke out a grown woman or man, like the show does. She's only 4'2" and she broke his neck with one punch. That's not gonna happen.
She should choke Robert Strong in front of everyone at the Sept of Baelor.
Right.
I don't know. It could be references to anything. It could be Stannis. It could be something to do with the Second Sons.
And Joe, I'm sorry, real quick. Joe makes a point. The black-haired baby is just show.
It was just show. Yeah, that's
he's right.
It was just show.
He's right. It feels like it's not, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally blanked on that too.
Yeah.
She did have a stillborn, I thought, though.
Yeah.
That's not
no.
Okay.
It could also be it could also be Euron, because Balon Greyjoy was older.
And why do they have to say it's her younger brother or sister? It could be a younger brother or sister. I got what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah. It could also be Sir Loras. He's actually still alive. He's burned as hell, but he's alive.
Well, no. See, he might be, or that could be a lie.
Yeah.
I always wondered about that. All of a sudden, Sir Lawrence is just burned. Come on. The Tyrells are into something.
It's somehow it's going to go down. It's going to go down to either Jaime or Tyrion killing Cersei.
I believe so too.
It needs to be Jaime.
Yeah.
Well, Jaime only has one hand.
And
he just needs to hold her down with that whole hand.
He chokes her with the one hand and crushes her with the golden hand. I think he could choke her out.
Oh yeah.
It's still two hands. They don't. One might not be real, but it's still two hands. And don't forget, Jaime could be Azor Ahai. You never know. He had some crazy dreams when he was sleeping on a weirwood trunk. There's a lot of this series is so dense.
There's a heck
bear nerd fun.
There's a heck of a lot of second siblings, though. You know, could even be the Hound, right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Let me
But
ask Bear. Bear, are you streaming tonight? Do you want to drop a stream in here? Go right ahead, buddy. If you are, go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
It's more than half the people on the planet.
Exactly. Goddamn quarantine.
I'm hoping for Stannis, though.
Yeah, I would love if Stannis choked her out. Oh, Stannis is the man.
Sometimes Stannis just needs to choke a bitch.
You know? and he's no bastard. And Joe agrees with us. I do think any younger sibling would be a cop out. That's more than half the people on the entire planet. He has a point. It has to be Jaime. I mean, I could see it being Tyrion, but I really want it because it was like a light bulb went off in people's head. The first person who ever said, well, what about Jaime? He's a second or two younger, you know?
How could it be Tyrion though? He's little.
He's done it before.
Well, not with his hands though.
No, he choked that German porn actress that played Shay.
Yeah, but he choked her with the chain of hands.
She's actually dead. The actress. He actually killed her.
She's dead. It was a real murder. It was a snuff film. Okay.
Nobody's ever seen it.
I think she lied about him dying. Gendry's apprenticeship was paid in full. Yeah, okay, if we're talking the show, I thought the same thing though. I did. I thought he was a legitimate son of theirs. I thought that was going to come out. I really did.
In the show, that may have been where they were going, but you know,
and then they changed it. Yeah, loose end, just bury it. Let's not finish anything. Hey, Arya, can you finish off a whole house in 1 second? Thank you. Won't be a surprise if Jaime is Azor Ahai. I really like him in the books. He's one of my faves, book only. Yeah, I like him in the book too. Oh, wow. Entertainment hacker. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you for stop. Yeah, almost 700. It's like when you're between the hundreds, everything moves fast until you get to right before the number. So, but much appreciated. If you are not subscribed to this man's channel, what are you doing? He has some great, always in-depth stuff about Johnny Depp and the bastard she is. Well, I'll leave it at that. But please check him out.
Amber Baskins.
Yeah. Amber Baskins, exactly. Oh, he just did a live show, so make sure you go up there and check him out. Check out his replay. Give us all our watch hours. We need it. Definitely. Christy, how much watch hour do you need?
I need 150.
Holy crap, people. Go ahead, Christy.
I was going to say that's the reason why I did 4 streams in a row, because like this week, because I mean, with Texas opening up a little bit more versus other states, like I actually went into the office today and I was like, oh my God, I actually miss driving and being in traffic and stuff like that.
Like you appreciate the little things.
Awesome.
You do.
Well,
but yeah, I literally have a playlist that's just live streams. I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. I mean, but if you do.
No, do it. Listen, guys, do some laundry, take a shower, cook, and just let her go around in the background. Come on. But okay, guys, we're going to close this up. Next week, we will be talking the Greyjoys, and I know we all have more information on that, so it'll hopefully be a more eventful stream. Book club, 6:30 this Wednesday. Are you guys all going to be there?
6:30 Central Standard Time?
No, 6:30 Eastern. You'll be at work probably?
I could probably, yeah. I would.
Well, jump in when you can.
Okay.
Miss Martin Muse have to leave at some point, so
okay.
No, I think we're good because the thing we signed up for it happens.
Christy needs another monster. I'm sorry, Stig. Christy needs 150 more hours. So check out her stuff. Go ahead, Stig.
I think the Wednesday Mayhem thing we're supposed to be on is 2 hours after the book club stream starts, so that should be enough.
Yeah, I'm hoping that'll be enough for us to get through a couple chapters. I mean, that's I'm looking forward to it, everybody. So once again, Jayne plugged hers about 20 minutes ago. We kept going. Christy, you want to plug your channel and beg for hours? I'm with you.
Sure, I know, right? Like, okay, so my channel is According to Christy. I'm trying to do more stuff like as far as live streams. This past Saturday we did that 80s theme. I did that last minute, like an hour before, and I was like, "Hey, who wants to come on here?" And it was kind of like I might try to do a top 10, like top 10 movies of the 80s. Work that out. Like, get like maybe Tom, Stig, whoever, and Scott too.
Oh yeah, well, that's nice of you.
Well, I mean, it just depends. And the big staple is on Friday nights is the People Walmart live streams. I mean, I shit.
Those are classic. If you haven't watched,
yeah,
please watch those. If you haven't watched one of Christie's People of Walmart streams, they're hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
They really are.
And sometimes I'm on with Justin Poppers with the This Week in Bullshit. And then with the Queen's Council, it normally gravitates from my channel and Mad's Mama Bear. And this week, I think it's going to be on Lorena's channel. I think.
Who finally has a channel?
Yes.
And it's probably already passed me in subs, and that's all right.
Stephen Walton's future ex-wife.
Yeah,
as he likes to say.
Exactly.
But again, please, if you haven't already, though, subscribe to Scott's channel. I mean, he's almost at 700. Are you at 700 now, Scott?
I have no clue. I haven't checked. Let me take a quick look. You keep talking about how great I am, and I will look. I am at
Scott is awesome sauce, guys. I mean,
700.
You are?
I'm at 700.
Nice.
I got to print this real quick before they take it away. Take a picture. All right, I took a picture. Holy crap. Thank you, everybody. 700. What's up? Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, guys.
Subscribe. And I was going to say, subscribe to Jayne Theory. I mean, Jayne, and I know Stig just has his little channel for fun. And I love listening to his top fives where he forgets to do number 4, number 5. It really annoys me. But
it annoys you?
Yeah.
That's exactly why I'm doing it too.
Yeah.
I'm skipping certain numbers on purpose and doing them out of order and stuff.
Yeah, kiss my grits. But I really want to say, like, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to Jayne Theory and even Tommy's channel. I mean, Tommy is awesome. He did a video earlier today about MASH.
Oh,
he did one last week.
Yep.
Yes.
My Little Pony.
Yes.
That's my favorite one that he does, because Tommy's so like guy's guy, and he's like, My Little Pony came out in 1981. And you're just like, what is this guy doing? I love it. Yeah, please. And his lightsaber stuff is dope too. Please check it out. Drop your link, Tommy. So another monster says he did it. Go Scott. Thank you, brother. Nerd Cookies, one of my good, I'm going to start saying friend because I love Nerd Cookies. One of the best channels. If you like Dune, you haven't watched hers, you're crazy. That's all I'm going to say. Jayne too. Jayne, you do Dune, right?
I do some of the updates, the news updates that come out.
Yeah.
The few leaks we've gotten.
Right. She does all the lore, and it's really interesting. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. Derek C was my 700th sub, and Derek, I'm not going to forget that, buddy. I'm not going to forget that. Thank you. I just try to do a John Talks. I'm not going to thank that, buddy. Thank you. Tommy telling people to unsubscribe now, taking the mark that Stephen Walton would have done if he was here. So I appreciate that, brother. And Bear's Bear's just laughing. So thank you, everybody. Stig, you want to plug anything before we go?
Nah.
Guys, please, tomorrow night, TR4 at what time do we do that? 7? Jayne?
Oh,
what's TR4 7 o'clock?
5:30 Central.
What time?
5:30 Central.
Okay, so 6:30. I think it's on my channel actually. So please check us out. TR4 is completely different than this though. TR4 is we're talking about today's news, politics, entertainment, society, and we get maybe talk about butts and boobs because we got Stephen Walton. So please check us out, guys. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Check out again, Christy, and get those 150 hours. I'm just waiting 15 more seconds. So this will be exactly 2 hours. So that's why I'm still rambling, but everyone be safe. If your state's opening up, God bless you. And thank you, Miss Muse. Yes, 700. And she's giving me simp berries. So I appreciate that too.
Those are roses.
Oh, I thought they were simp berries. I don't have my glasses on. Thank you. All right, I'm leaving. Bye, everybody. Have a great
Bye.
Everyone.